Hello, everybody, and welcome to this month's Speaker Spotlight for NSA Carolinas. I'm Sharon Delaney McCloud, and I am thrilled to introduce my dear friend, former colleague and co-host, and just human extraordinaire, Valonda Calloway.
Hi,
Hey,
Sharon, my fairy god sister.
It is so nice to have you here as a part of the NSA Carolinas community. For those who have not met you before, give us a little bit of background about Valonda Calloway.
Fantastic. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation. As Sharon mentioned, we were colleagues. We met doing My Carolina Today, but we had been in each other's orbit for years prior to that because we were news anchors at competing stations. I was at WREL, Sharon at WNCN. So I've worked in TV, radio, some type of media my whole career. But outside of work, I love fitness. I love dance. You can find me in a gym, a dance studio, somewhere where I'm sweating 4 to 5 times a week. That is my thing. And I have a daughter, an 18-year-old, who's about to head to college in a few months. And Sharon and I, we had that in common. Our children were born the same day, same hospital, delivered by the same OBGYN practice.
Exactly. We were meant to be on our path together. And speaking of which, I wanted to share one of my favorite recent pictures of Valonda.
Oh, I love that.
This is one of my most favorite pics, Valonda, right?
I love that. You are
Valonda and I
joyful.
were both honored to be a part of an organization called Know Women, KNOW, and we were both recognized as Women to Know in North Carolina. And last year, we got a chance to get all fancy and dressed up and had a wonderful evening together with our friends and family to celebrate each other's accomplishments. But as Valonda said, we go back a ways. Let's take a
Oh, yeah.
look.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Girl, those are some fun days.
I haven't seen that in years.
I
Wow.
I brought it out from the
Wow.
archives.
That
Good
was a
stuff.
good time.
It was a great time. As you have transitioned out of traditional media into this new role, tell me how you have been able to take all of those skill sets that you learned as a journalist and now move into this new career that you have created for yourself.
I think I took for granted so many of the things that I learned working as a journalist. I thought that a lot of things that you and I did were what everybody knew how to do, and I quickly learned they are not. And I feel bad and I smack myself on the hand for being insensitive back in the day when we were hosts because I vividly remember people coming into the studio and they would be so nervous. And my response was always, just talk about your business. Just talk about yourself. Just talk about your no. Just treat it as if I'm walking into your business and we're having a conversation. I said that so many times. And I wish I could find every single one of those people and say, I apologize. I was wrong. Because it's not that simple. And it wasn't until I got out of TV and into this coaching role that I realized that a lot of people struggle with social anxiety, with nerves, with imposter syndrome, with all the things that get in the way of them being able to communicate effectively. And so now I'm much more gentle. I'm much more compassionate for what people are dealing with. Yeah, you know what you do, but it's not as simple as standing there or sitting there and talking about it. If you've got all these other things going on in your head telling you you're not enough, you don't deserve this interview, you're sitting wrong, your hair looks bad, and if you have all that going on, you can't deliver your message with any kind of authority or any kind of confidence. And so now I take what I've learned and help people communicate with confidence, whether that is helping them with all that chatter that's going on in their head or with simple things. Like if you know you have a fidgeting problem, don't wear stuff that's going to let you fidget. Don't wear a necklace or don't wear your hair down if you know you're going to play with it. But little things that make a big difference is what I like to help people with. And so that's one example of what I learned working in TV that I now use to help people communicate better.
With this newfound understanding and maybe patience, because I remember back in the day, sometimes, Valonda, when we would have a very nervous guest come on our TV
Yeah.
show, and they would keep stopping and starting and ask to start all over again. And you're right, we didn't understand. Now,
Mm-mm.
do you believe that the reason is because you're a natural performer? You've danced your whole life. You were a Washington Redskinette, although that's not the name of the team anymore, but you have had this very outward performance background. And so that comes up more naturally to you, right? Is that how you have defined this new mindset shift?
Well, it does come natural for me, but I also get nervous. But I push past it. There, I can't think of any time where I got so nervous that I just said, nope, not going to do it. I pushed past it. But a lot of people can't do that. They need a strategy to help them push past it, or they need something.
What are some of the things you do to minimize or control the nerves before a big presentation or a workshop that you're leading?
Yes, I have a whole toolbox of things that I lean on. But my number one is deep breathing.
Hmm.
I'm a big fan of deep breathing, whether that's box breathing or just simply,
And is this before you would go out in front of the group or the audience?
yes,
Mm.
absolutely. Right before, it varies. If I'm waiting in the wings while I'm being introduced, I'm deep breathing while I'm waiting. I'm stretching while I'm waiting. I'm moving my body. I can't simply stand still and wait and hold my hands. I'm moving. I might, do some lateral stretching. I might do, port de bras. But I'm moving. I have to get my blood flowing and I have to make sure my heart rate is settled. And so deep breathing for me is the fastest way to get there. In through the nose, out through the mouth, as many times as I need to feel in control. And if you follow me on LinkedIn, you may have seen some months back, I shared a real life example of when I had to use that. I'm sitting at an event, I'm wearing my Apple Watch. I look down because I can feel that my palpitations are just out of control. I look down and see that my heart rate is way higher than it needs to be before I'm going to speak. And so I sat there in my seat, in through the nose, out through the mouth, over and over again until I brought my heart rate down. And so I
Mm.
snapped pictures of my high heart rate. And then once it was a little bit lower, and I shared that. And I shared it for a couple of reasons. Number one, to share that I get nervous too, just like anybody else. I get nervous too. And second reason, to show that deep breathing works
Mm.
and that I'm not just saying it to you to say it to you. It truly does work.
I know for sure that a lot of our members at NSA Carolinas, we have a large group of members, one of the largest chapters in the country. And we have a lot of newer members who are also emerging speakers. They are
Mhm.
still learning their craft. Almost all of these people are thought leaders
Mhm.
and have great experience in their career or whatever their current or previous roles are, and now they're trying to bring that thought leadership to stages. So as we think about helping them, so this deep breathing to minimize the nerves, what is something else that you coach people in to build their confidence as they get up in front of audiences?
To have a routine, whatever that means for you, something that you do every single time. The same way athletes have a routine, they may listen to the same music before they go out on the field. They may have a ritual. I've seen some players that like to walk a certain number of yards on the field and then they walk back.
Mm.
But whatever that is for you, to find that thing and do it every time. What for me, it's deep breathing, it's stretching, it's giving myself a pep talk. If I have an
Mm.
opportunity to go into a bathroom, look in the mirror and talk to myself, that's exactly what I do. True story, this morning I had Pilates. As I mentioned, I'm a fitness fanatic. I'm in Pilates, I come out, and the teacher says to me, "You look like a warrior on that reformer today." And I said, "Oh, thank you. That is such a beautiful compliment. I appreciate that." And then she was, talking about my posture and how I looked on the reformer. And I said, I put myself in that mindset. I look in that mirror and I talk to myself and I look at my body and I talk about how I want to look and feel like a warrior. I want my arms to look like this. I want my chest area to look like this. I am willing myself to the body that I want by giving myself that pep talk and taking that posture before I get started working out. So talking to myself really helps.
Valonda, it reminds me of the story about Beyonce. And
Yes.
I know you and I have used this when we have co-facilitated training. If you
Hmm.
would, do you mind sharing Beyonce's story on her own pep talks that she used to have to do earlier in her career?
Yes, Beyonce, as powerful and as amazing as she is, she had self-doubt. And that's how the name Sasha Fierce came about. Sasha Fierce was her alter ego, and she had to snap into Sasha Fierce instead of Beyonce to be able to go out on stage and to be the woman that she is. And it took her years to find the confidence that we all see and enjoy now. And so, yeah, I don't have a name for her. Maybe she'll be Warrior Princess
Yeah, oh, Valonda's, yes.
after today because I was so thrilled about that. But a lot of people do that. They have to go someplace else or they have to give it an alter ego. Michelle Williams, who was also in Destiny's Child, talked about that. I don't remember if she had a name for her alter ego, but she also had to do the same thing to feel powerful.
There is another speaker that I admire greatly, and she happens to be local to the Raleigh-Durham area, Jess Ekstrom.
Yes, she's
And
amazing.
she is fantastic. And she runs Mic Drop Workshop, which is an organization whose goal is to get more women on stages.
Mhm.
And her most recent, she's done two TED Talks. The most recent one talks about how to become a better public speaker and the idea of being a lighthouse instead of a
Mhm.
spotlight. And
Mm.
oftentimes that can get that mindset shift that people need to stop thinking up there like, oh, what do I look like? Am I sweating? What are my clothes doing? What's my hair doing? And it's not about you. It's
Yeah.
about the information, the value you are bringing to this room, to this space. Be a lighthouse to guide the people in front of you rather than thinking you're in the spotlight. And I've been using that analogy in a lot of my coaching and training as well.
I love that. I do the same thing, but I call it being of service.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
It's the exact same idea, but the way I frame it is how can you be of service? Take the spotlight off of yourself and think about how can you serve your audience? What information do you have that audience needs? How can you serve them? And when you think about them, versus yourself, the nerves tend to fall away a bit easier.
That is an excellent way to think about it as well. All right, as we come to a close, you've mentioned how you do the breathing, but is there one scenario, like, for example, you got to sit there and do a fireside chat with the Tabitha Brown, and you've also interviewed some amazing people. You had to have been nervous before that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a student, so I did that talk with Tabitha Brown at Winston-Salem State University, my alma mater, and I hired a student to make a reel for me. So he was following me around the entire afternoon, and he caught a shot of me sitting with my notepad in my lap. And it looks like I am reviewing my notes. In actuality, I was having a talk with myself. And I was talking to God. And I'm sitting there, but you don't know what's going on, but that's what I was doing. I was getting myself prepared because there were hundreds of people in the audience, and Tab's amazing. I'm a fan of hers. I was hired to do a job, but I'm also a fan. So I wanted it to be great. And so I was quite nervous about that. And so I did the deep breathing. I was backstage doing plies. I just had to move my body. I could not be still. And so I had to do a lot of things to feel ready to step on stage.
Well, I think that is a great place for us to close out this interview because it demonstrates, Valonda, someone with an entire lifelong career of being up in front of people. All of us get nervous, but
Mhm.
it's the way that we control that and prepare that can make the difference between going out and being confident and serving, as you say, rather than
Yes,
letting those nerves get the best of you.
absolutely. And if I could say one more thing,
Please.
the Michael Jackson movie is premiering, or it's by the time
Oh,
this
yes.
comes out, it will be out. Michael Jackson used to throw up backstage before going on stage and performing.
I did not know that.
He would get that worked up.
My
And
goodness.
so if Michael Jackson's going through that, if Beyonce's having to create an alter ego, if all these amazing people get nerves and have to do things to help them, then we're in great company.
We are in good company.
And we should not feel ashamed or embarrassed. It just means we're human.
That's a great way to punctuate it. That's great. Thank you so much, Valonda. I have enjoyed
You're
our
welcome.
chat.
Of
I
course.
miss our we used to get to chat on live TV and recorded TV all the time, and I miss
Chick
that.
chat.
But this is yes, chick chat. Yeah, this is a lovely reunion of sorts, and we are so delighted you are a part of our chapter, and that many of our members can learn and grow through seeing you in action and
Thank
sharing
you.
this behind the scenes of what you do to help your clients and yourself when on stage. Valonda, thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you for having me.